Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Earth Mac, the Mad Scientist, and today's show of the Orange Phoenix Show, we're talking about James Gunn and how he is a menace. This man is on a rampage, and he made us wait to the end of the month to make announcements as far as the 10 movies and shows that he got slated for 2025. 2025. We got to wait 2 more years before the DCU even pops off, but don't panic, because we still got movies coming out. We still have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. We still got Aquaman, right? We still got Blue Beetle, right? And we still got The Flash. Now, let's dial it back a little bit and how James Gunn is a menace and how he's on a rampage. Now, we talking about public enemy number 1, that guy right there. He doesn't care about your feelings. You feel me? He doesn't care about it at all. But that's not such a bad thing, though. I mean, if you really look at him and Peter Safran, what they're doing, because only thing we was getting was bad news, right? Henry Cavill no longer being Superman. Wonder Woman getting scrapped. Batgirl getting scrapped, right? Ben Affleck's not going to be in front of the camera. Wink, wink. So, I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of things that the fan base is actually negative towards. And the funny thing about it, he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. You're not going to social media bully this man into changing his mind about anything. And sometimes that is a good thing. The difference between him and how the DCEU was ran is that Warner Bros. Didn't really give a damn about your thoughts at all. They just blatantly went the opposite direction, and they paid for it because of that. But James Gunn is actually reading comics. He actually reading the lore. He actually, doing his due diligence, doing his research. And I mean, his success in the Marvel universe speaks for itself. I mean, if you really think about it, how many people actually knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy before Guardians of the Galaxy was on the big screen? Of course, I knew it was a comic book, but it wasn't a comic book that I was collecting. It wasn't a mainstream comic book. It wasn't anything of that, any stretch of the imagination. But now people are going to comic book stores and picking up Guardians of the Galaxy. They fell in love with the characters. It's a more obscure group of characters, and James Gunn bring them up to the limelight. Okay, if you don't believe that, look at the DCEU and what he brought with the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Some people didn't even know crap about Peacemaker until he was on the screen, and know about the other characters in the Suicide Squad until they was on the screen. Now people are picking up the Suicide Squad. Now people are picking up Peacemaker because they want to know more about this particular character. And he has a knack for bringing out the literal known characters and bringing them up to the limelight. You got to look at the DC, going back to the DCEU, right? The DCEU was split in several different directions. We didn't know what the hell to follow. Anytime that we was excited about something, it gets scrapped. It doesn't follow it, or whatever the case may be. You got the Arrowverse over here on CW. You got the Flash on CW. You got all this stuff going on. Doesn't connect to what's going on in the DCEU. No explanation as to why not. And then even with the CW, they had their own Infinite Earths type of situation going on over there. I mean, yeah, it was good. It was decent, but it's like, why are we doing this? Man of Steel started off great. Great film, phenomenal film. Then you do Batman versus Superman, which I'm going to be honest with you. I went to go see Batman versus Superman in the movie theater, and I damn near fell asleep. I'm like, damn, this movie is long. And then I watched the Ultimate Edition, which explained a lot more than the actual theatrical version, which in my mind, I was like, why didn't you do the Ultimate Edition and just put it on the big screen? I know there's legalities. I know there's a budget, and you got to cut certain things out, but they really did cut out a lot of important things, right? And then you got Wonder Woman, which was widely successful. Very, very good film. Aquaman was actually fairly decent to me. And then, of course, you had the Justice League. Not Zack Snyder's Justice League, but you had Joss Whedon's Justice League, which was a flop. Oh man, the amount of fan base that shitted on this movie. And then people was begging and pleading and literally bullying Warner Brothers. And like, yo, we need the Snyder cut. We need this, because this was not Zack Snyder's original vision. And then we finally get the Snyder cut on HBO Max. And Jesus, I'm like, 10 times better. All the bullshit was cut out. Everything is everything. Then you see Deathstroke in the after credits. Like, oh man, we're gonna get the Batman where Deathstroke goes up against Batman. And from what I'm understanding from the storyline, right? From the storyline, Deathstroke was going to torment Batman, killing people that he hold close to him, left and right. And it was supposed to be like The Raid. If you're ever familiar with the martial arts film, The Raid, it was supposed to be something like that, but in Arkham. So the rumors say, but we never got to see that. And we kind of pissed at that. And then you see the Justice League in the end of that. And everybody wants a continuation of that at least. Please finish out the story. James Gunn said, we ain't doing that. We're going to wipe the slate clean. We're going to start over because one of the things is it was all over the freaking place. As far as the storyline goes, it was nothing for you to follow. And I feel like this is the best course of action for James Gunn to go because now you have a centerpiece. You got Peter Safran, you got James Gunn, you got, a centerpiece on focusing on not just movies, you focusing on video games and animation adaptation, and all that stuff is going to connect. Then people ask the question about Matt Reeves' Batman and the Joker. He even goes as far as say, hey, this is DC Elseworlds. It's not even going to interfere with the main continuity. There's still other movies coming out. So obviously to the fan base, to us, we got something to tickle our palate a little bit before the DCU pops off, because we got the Batman Part 2, we got the Joker, we got stuff like that, to get us over the hump before, and then of course the Flash, Shazam, Aquaman, Blue Beetle. We got something, that leads us into 2025 and gets us started. And chapter 1, at least the first half of chapter 1, is called Gods and Monsters. So now let's start with the Authority. These character bases right here. Now, I will do research on the Authority, and it will be in the next video. If you do like our video, please like and subscribe to our video, and we will put up more and more and more and more content based on comic book characters, anime characters, and so on, and pop culture, and so on and so forth. But the Authority is an anti-hero team. Not many people, including myself, don't know much about the Authority other than they are part of Wildstorm. That is a comic book company of Wildstorm that interjected with DC. And this anti-hero team go through extreme measures to handle the things that it need to handle. This is not the Justice League, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so imagine a bunch of superheroes or anti-heroes, handling business by Punisher means. So there's that. So I will be doing a video on the Authority in its full splendor. Now, another obscure hero that they actually slated to be in the chapter 1 continuity is this guy right here, Booster Gold. We'll be doing a video on him as well, Booster Gold. Now, some of you are familiar with Justice League Unlimited, right? Justice League Unlimited featured Booster Gold and Skeets in one episode, and I really was curious in Booster Gold. Now, Booster Gold actually was on Heroes in Crisis. So if you haven't read that comic book storyline, you definitely need to read that. But I definitely will be going in depth with Booster Gold and his character from back to front, just to prepare you for the Booster Gold series. And he's not your traditional hero. He has an imposter syndrome. Like, he really wants to be a hero. He doesn't have any superpowers or anything like that. But I'm definitely going to jump into that. Now, this chapter really going to start. Now, he did say this before, that it was going to center around this man, Superman. It definitely was going to center around him. No, Henry Cavill is not playing this guy. He also went on record, James Gunn said he did not fire Henry Cavill. I think, from what understanding, it was a misleading type of situation. Warner Brothers just don't have some type of organization. So, James Gunn had his own particular vision on what Superman is. Now, Superman Legacy is what he's calling it, is a younger version of Superman, where he's trying to balance his human life and his hero life, and working at the Daily Planet. And he's supposed to be a symbol of kindness. So in Metropolis, people treated kindness as like this past tense type of thing, and Superman is supposed to be this beacon of hope. Now, we're not talking about grizzled veteran Superman. This is a younger version of Superman. So this is where this thing centers around. So from what I'm understanding, from how he's describing it, it's just going to center around Superman in the movie. I wouldn't look for any special guests showing up. It's just Superman in Metropolis. Now, another interesting thing is, if we on the subject of Superman, let's talk about Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. That is another interesting thing. It's been so long since we've seen a Supergirl film. Obviously, we got a Supergirl series, but not a film though. And with this, she survives on a portion of Krypton, and she tragically sees her friends and family like pass away one by one. So this is a gigantic storyline, and it's a grim take on Supergirl before she even makes it, to Earth. So this is going to be a very interesting dynamic, coming in, and I'm definitely going to be tuning in for Supergirl. Now, here's a character that there's a movie already out, by the way. There's an older movie, a Swamp Thing, and if you want to go check that out, go ahead and check that out. Nice cheesy goodness. Just telling you right now, nice cheesy goodness, and it is Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing will be part of Chapter 1. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not much of a Swamp Thing fan, but I do understand James Gunn and Peter Safran's take, because they want to put more obscure characters up to the forefront, not just the recycled Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg, no Green Lantern, surprisingly, which we will touch on that in a few minutes. But Swamp Thing, yes, I will watch it for video reasons, obviously, but I can't see myself like super interested in the Swamp Thing. I have seen him in DC animated films. He is a certified badass in these animated films. Like, he is not to be played with, okay? He is sensitive about the green. You feel me? He feels like the male version of Poison Ivy without actually, killing innocent people. That kind of thing. But don't touch the green, all right? Don't burn forests and trees down around this man, because Swamp Thing will come to get you. That just that is what it is. Now, speaking of lanterns, let's talk about Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Now, he has a series called The Lanterns, which is going to be like this cosmic mystery type of series, according to James Gunn. Think True Detective. If you haven't seen True Detective, you're definitely missing out. But think True Detective, but in space. So Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan are super cops. Obviously, the Green Lantern Corps are the police of the galaxy, right? So they're solving this mystery, and it's supposed to have like this cosmic horror type of feel to it. And maybe they discover some cosmic villains in the process, and maybe that may have a threat. But this is a show I'm very interested in. This is a show that a lot of fandom was interested in, because the Lantern situation was like thrown out in limbo. We didn't know who was going to be the main character. We didn't know what the storyline would be. But James Gunn actually put pen to paper and put voice to speaker and said, hey, we got the Lanterns coming. It will center around Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and it's going to be a detective type of mystery. Yes, powers will be used, but it's going to be a different type of take. So I really do appreciate the fact that James Gunn is doing this. Now, here's what I mean by him being a menace. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, no matter what you use, you can at this man. You can berate this man. But let me tell you something. He will not listen to any of that. You will not bully this man into anything. I go as far as to say, this dude did a poll today. He did a poll today where he says, Superman, trunks or no trunks? And it kind of like leads off like, okay, I'm going to listen to what y'all saying. But he put a disclaimer out there, right? He said, listen, this is just for fun. This is not a scientifically accurate poll or whether we're going to use trunks or no trunks. Just doing it for fun, right? People still vote. I voted for no trunks. That's me. However, trunks actually is winning right now, and they got an hour left on the poll as of this video, right? So he's not listening to the bullying. He's not listening to the cyberbullying, or you're not going to coerce him or bully him into forcing a character there or creating some kind of narrative or whatever. This guy is actually reading the comics. He is a fan of the comic book lore, and if you really pay attention to the 10 movies and the stuff that's coming out, he's paying attention. Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Not to be confused with Matt Reeves' Batman. Not to be confused with the part 2 and part 3 that's coming out in DC Elseworlds. But the Brave and the Bold is centered around Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne. So that implies that the Bat family is already seasoned veterans. You got Dick Grayson, which is the first Robin, which I believe that Damian Wayne is the best Robin. I'm gonna just put it out there now. I was around when Dick Grayson was the first Robin. I get it. But you got Nightwing, you got Batgirl, you got the Red Hood. Will we get the Red Hood in full splendor? Will we get Jason Todd? Come on. You can't help but be excited about that. So you're looking at the interesting relationship between Bruce Wayne and Damian Wayne, along with the Bat family, going up against some of the Rose Gallery of Gotham City, which is super, super dope. Now let's talk about these cancellations. Obviously, some non-surprising ones. Titans is out of there. But according to the directors and the writers of Titans, that it will have a specifics finish. It won't have like a cliffhanger ending, like leaving you like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, I've been following Titans since the first season. Can you finish it out for us? But according to the directors and the writers, that they actually are going to finish it. And it's going to be a complete type of finish. Same thing with Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol has officially been canceled, but they said the exact same thing. Like, it's going to be a point where there's going to be somewhat of a complete ending. It won't leave you with a long ass cliffhanger where you're never going to get the end of Doom Patrol or Titans. So that is a good thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when Titans first came out, I couldn't really get next to it. It was a different take, but I do understand the fact that DC has multiple universes, right? They have a multiverse. You know, you got Earth One and everything else, and that's how I correlate this. Like, Teen Titans is not part of this continuity because this is a different universe. Like, Batman is already old, he's retired, and there's no Superman. I mean, Superman is around, but you don't see him. The Titans is pretty much the super team of America at this point. So I get it. The moment I got into Titans is when I saw the introduction of Doom Patrol. When I saw the introduction of Doom Patrol, it felt like a comic book show to me, and I really got interested from that standpoint. So I really do understand. Speaking of multiverse, this is a slick way of doing this, but The Flash is coming out, and it is said to reset everything. It's said to reset and create a new universe where you will get Superman Legacy, you will get the Brave and the Bold with Batman, you will get Booster Gold. Now, speaking of, we got to go to, the actual Creatures Commandos. Now, the Creatures Commandos. Now, I will say, with the Creatures Commandos, led by Rick Flag Sr. All right, not to be confused with Rick Flag of the Suicide Squad, but this is Daddy. Now, we talking Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein, Weasel. Now, you will get Weasel, right? Now, those of you who don't remember Weasel, he was in the Suicide Squad. I mean, he died, fell out the helicopter, like went splat, and then by the end of the movie, he came back and like ran off. But you will get, it's an animated film, right? It is an animated series, if you will. But at the same time, this is connected because according to Peter Safran and James Gunn, all of this stuff is connected. Everything. Flash is going to reset everything and bring you to DCU. I'm just happy at the fact that there is some organization in DCU. There's some organization. This is only the first half of chapter 1. I'm actually okay with that. I made peace that there's not going to be any more Snyderverse. All right. I made peace that I'm never going to see the Ayer cut version of the Suicide Squad. Now, James Gunn also went on record to saying that don't look for Peacemaker anytime soon. It's not canceled, but he has his hands in a lot of projects. He has his hands in a lot of projects, which means he can't have his hands directly on Peacemaker right now. Not to say that Peacemaker is going to be a long ways from here, but, obviously there's a lot of projects that he got his hands on. They're currently looking for casting for Booster Gold, right? They're working on Superman Legacy. He's writing this stuff. He's writing multiple things at once. He's super excited about this. And I feel like as a fan base, I feel like we should lend our support to James Gunn and Peter Safran. Because and now if you got Paradise City or Paradise City Lost with the prequel to Wonder Woman, this is before Wonder Woman, it's going to have a Game of Thrones type of feel to it. Like, come on. They're going to have come on now. We're looking at non-origin stories, except for the Paradise, before Wonder Woman the Wonder Woman prequel. But you got all these obscure heroes coming out, and you have a new take on the mainstream heroes. Now, he did went on record saying the whole thing is centered around Superman. Obviously, Superman is the beacon of hope and all this other jazz, but it won't be a situation where, all eyes are on Superman. We got to depend on him to do things. And it's going to be a while before a Justice League movie even comes to fruition, because it seems like he has a vision on how things is going to culminate and how things are going to end. And this is just, like I said, this is like the first half of chapter 1. And I'm okay with that. We finally got organization. There's no different directions and, just doing movies just for money purposes. Even though Matt Reeves, the Batman, was successful, Wonder Woman was successful. It's just that we have it now. We finally got something. We might have some dubs for the DC universe. Marvel had a stranglehold on the movie fandom. And of course, Phase 5 has been announced shortly after. Of course, Echo and Daredevil, supposed to be 18 episodes and all that. But DC is on its way. And DC got a way to go to do it. They got a way to go to do that. But everything is in good hands. But if you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe to our video. Go ahead and watch our next video. And on after that, go to our end screen. Now, we got to pay some bills out here. We got to pay some bills. Now, this show has been brought to you by T Public. T Public is where you can get your hoodies and everything else. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have here the Voltron hoodie, and I do have that from T Public. All you gotta do is go to T Public, get your hoodies, your mugs, your t-shirts, your long sleeves. I'm telling you right now, you need to go ahead and cop that. And also your anime box. If you click on the link in our description below, it will take you to your anime box, your trinkets, your manga, your gear. You can customize your shoes. Limited time only now. Limited time only for your customized shoes. Click on the link in our description below and create your own personal anime box. All right, guys, this is our show for today. As far as James Gunn and the DCU, I am super excited about this new journey starting in 2025. But hey, we still got some DC movies on the way, and be on the lookout for our next video highlighting the Authority and Booster Gold. So until next time, y'all, peace.